allow Politics 24/7 to be hosting delegations at State House more than 2 years before the next general election. If this is happening just like that person from Vietnam saying, it is really where you take the criticism that a country that should be off the mic and switch on the lights is still insisting that you should be on the microphone. I have heard from those State House speeches situations whereby you are the incumbent, you are in office. Things that you can be able to do today, you are telling delegations, if you re-elect me, I am going to do this or the other. Failure cannot be more spectacular, if you ask me. And therefore, if you use the standard of Politics 24/7 to be the standard against which you are going to judge the opposition, then you will be told, why are you not playing politics as effectively as William Ruto? And to me, if you asked me, it is really regrettable. You saw Kibaki, you elect him, he's off the political radar until the election season comes. That's the way in which it ought to be. Not any other way that every day you are politicking and not working. Hosting delegation is not work. Hosting delegations is actually the assumption that you need to be supported based on politics, not performance. And therefore, for me, even to consider that as a yardstick, it is wrong, because the nominations, for example, for any positions are going to take place in the months of April, May, and June 2027. So where should the pressure be coming for the opposition? That you should be organized, we should be having a candidate. That one is
A lawyer and advocate of the High Court, Kibe Mungai, has criticized the state of Kenya's parliament and Senate, saying that the opposition coalition Azimio, despite being the majority in both the houses, has failed Kenyans to secure key position or effectively hold President William Ruto's administration accountable. He argues that both the legislative houses have been completely compromised, raising concerns over weakening oversight and erosion of democratic checks and balance in government. He was speaking on TV47 during an interview on Morning Cave, where Kibe Mungai highlighted that the Kenyan government, led under President William Ruto, has captured the Senate and Parliament. You recently saw during the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. You further witnessed what the Parliament did during the recent finance bill of 2024-2025 that led to protests in the country, where MPs only took 2 hours to pass the bill, and later the president revoked the sign the bill into law. And it is something that is of sort that it has been said in a number of times that President William Ruto has used his own power to compromise MPs, all those who are allied to Kenya Kwanza government, and particularly now to the Azimio. For the Azimio to be in government, it is Raila Odinga, and President has lured Raila Odinga into his own trap so that he can use the opposition to pass bills and oppose in terms of motion that he requires in parliament. Also, there is something about check and balance of corruption in the country. No one is talking about, and the parliament is silent, and they are mandated by the Constitution of Kenya to have the check and balance of the executive. Now, saying a number of many Kenyans saying that the government or the parliament and Senate are in bed with government, and also this opposition, which is now the check and balance of government, who are in both Senate and National Assembly, are also in the same bed with the government. Listen to Kibe Mungai.
Were killed. Those people who are killed, sometimes you cry for them, but you bury them. But the pain never goes. But there's another worse kind of pain that we are having amongst families, those of us who have met them. A lot of young people were shot and maimed. Those young people, some of them had young families. There are some of those people are still going for medication. As we have this political body to talk about compensation, which is the law has already provided for, one would actually be able to wonder, what is the big deal about each of these families with injured people, giving them 2 million each, as we wait for this other body to do this or the other. I go back to George Floyd. You remember George Floyd of the US? When George Floyd was killed, Biden did not form a task force. Biden said the American government apologizes for this unlawful killing and ex gratia. The American government is going to compensate the family a certain amount of money that was mentioned. It was a substantial amount of money. So to me, the president, in the same way that you go to State House and decides every teacher is going to be given a 10 million, a 10,000 bribe, he can also compensate these people without much ado. Finally, on these issues of you are educated, you are this, you are that, Kibaki was not officially a doctor. He was not officially a professor. But anybody, I had a one chance or two to talk to him privately. Those people, even who speaks about him, Kisa Kitui, Anyang' Nyong'o, Kipruto Kirwa, they also say the same thing, that rarely could you come across a man who had the presence of mind and understanding of what people ought to do than Mwai Kibaki. Did he brag to anybody how educated he was? He did not. But finally, I finish by saying, some of us have gone to school substantial enough, and we know a lot about the world. And one of the things we used to say, we were in the same generation with my colleague Honorable Mungatana, there are people we used to call real professors and real doctorates and fake ones. As a lawyer, we could be named. You heard about somebody called Professor Okoth Ogendo, Professor Gai. You heard about somebody called Karistos Juma, Professor Goge Wathiongo. There were these guys, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, that you would be able to say that when you hear so-and-so is a professor, you need to hear him for 5 minutes to see what they have done, to indicate they are professors or have doctorates. But sometimes in Kenya, in fact, I wonder whether he should be a doctorate at all, because I see people with little in their minds saying they are doctors. People who have messed up countries saying that they are doctors, they are professors. So the one of the things is, I would actually be more interested to say, the guy calling himself a professor, is there any evidence to say he's really a professor? The Americans, sometimes they keep saying, you read it in The Economist, that a lot of these people who call themselves engineers and doctors in other countries, in those countries,